wanted to go.
Hey, Ray. Never went down, Ray. You never got me down, Ray. You hear me? Never got me down.
These are clean, whistling shots. How he can survive them, nobody knows. No.
Raging Bull by Martin Scorsese is a 1980 boxing film based on Jake LaMotta's autobiography of the same name. From his rise as a middleweight champion to his fall and eventual redemption as a comedian, it tells the real-life story of a man who struggles between his primal aggression and his desperation for love and acceptance. Before we can dive in, first we'll have to lay out our framework to truly examine the spectacle that is the violence of Raging Bull. We'll be using two theories: psychoanalytic film theory and genre theory. To summarize, psychoanalytic film theory delves into what is driven by desire and wish fulfillment. That is to say, satisfying our desires and fantasies, and in this film's case, violence and machismo. Genre theory, meanwhile, shares similarities in form and style, theme, and communicative function, used for marketing and categorizing films, and based on this statement, Raging Bull is considered a boxing film and will be compared as such to other films categorized as such. Therefore, Raging Bull is not merely a boxing film. It's a deconstruction of a broken man whose violence, while bringing him success in a ring, also destroys everything he's come to hold dear to him. Violence in the boxing ring has come to be expected and accepted as per the boxing genre. The first scenes in the film showcase the audience in clear view not only of his capabilities, but his struggles. His punches are ferocious and wild, his style up close and aggressive, and his guard inviting to attack, only to ensure a devastating counter. This quickly sets the tone for the movie. Not a film of a scrappy underdog making a heroic rise, but a brutal depiction of a self-destructive brawler, always on the cusp of snapping. The following scene shows Jake yelling at his first wife Irma over a simple matter, an overcooked steak, quickly devolving into a shouting match with furniture overturned.
You bothering me about a steak, huh? You bothering me about a steak?
So even in domestic affairs, his violent nature is not so easily tempered. This links back to Jake's warped sense of masculinity, his desire for a shot at the title belt carrying over into his daily life, an issue with how he treats those he loves. According to Damian Cox and Michael Levine in their journal article, some features of film spectatorship are best explained by your tendency to repress and disavow uncomfortable or perverse desires, and to gain a special kind of gratification from the vicarious satisfaction of these desires in dreams and fantasies. Scorsese has thrown viewers copious amounts of violence, none of it glorified, with a vast majority of it out of the ring. It's a guilty pleasure, one that forces and challenges the audience to come to terms with Freudian theory that has to do with the immediate gratification of instinct and drive. This can be interpreted in a few ways, either as a talking point of Jake's crumbling psychology as the focus of the film, or as a commentary of boxing films as a whole. Rocky II is a 1979 boxing film directed by, produced, and starring Sylvester Stallone. Following the first film, Rocky is faced with a rematch against Apollo Creed, reigning heavyweight champion. The Rocky series has been regarded as one of the best of its class, almost defining the boxing genre by itself. But now, that begs the question: what has Raging Bull done differently? First off, Raging Bull plays as a subversion to typical boxing film cliches. Rocky's narrative was optimistic, inspirational, clean. Raging Bull, on the other hand, was more nihilistic, raw, and gruesome at times. Rocky Balboa was a man you look up to and aspired to become as a kid, a champion of the people, the true American dream of hard work. Jake LaMotta was the kind of man your parents would warn you not to sink down to, a cautionary tale about reining in your temper and ego. With these distinctions, naturally how violence will be depicted would change drastically as well. The final bout between Rocky and Apollo in Rocky II is treated with reverence, like the audience is meant to cheer. It was meant to be a heroic triumph, overcoming obstacles and having that physical and mental strength, showcasing Rocky's personal growth. However, Raging Bull was more chaotic and brutal, no grand victory nor heroism to be found. Instead, fights are dragged on, raw, frantic, and visceral, as if designed to make the viewers uncomfortable. Stripping away the heroic nature of prior biopics or stories of other boxing films leaves the reality of unhinged brutality. The whole thing shot to capture the essence of Jake's troubled mind. Raging Bull has come to be one of, if not the best boxing film, and is considered to be Martin Scorsese's magnum opus. Not only for being a subversive film that managed to capture the real-life escapades of Jake LaMotta in gory detail, but also challenging cinema itself with a more gruesome take on sports films, showing them that more can be done in the psychological and emotional departments than just a physical competition. Violence, no matter how abhorrent it can be, certainly has a fascinating place in cinema and the human psyche. It can be shown lightheartedly in Rocky to uplift and get viewers to root for the protagonist. Or it can be depicted in a more realistic, unfiltered way that reflects on their flaws in condemnation. As Jake would say,
That's entertainment.
thanks for watching.